The business just really appealed to me. Once I actually got into it, you know, obviously I didn't think that was gonna be my forever job, but once I got into it, I mean, just interacting with customers, and then the fast pace. I mean, it's always changing, it's always different, and you learn every day. So it just really appealed to me, and I grew to, you know, love it.
I'm doing my thing. Yeah, you can do it too. Just make the change. I like that. Don't gotta
So it's more than just getting your car clean and quick. It is about how do you interact? How do you feel about going to whatever the car wash may be? If everybody's on the same level playing field with the equipment and the chemicals, and it's maintained properly, and the place is clean, how are you going to be different? It is a very different today than it's ever been. Just getting a car clean and quick isn't enough anymore.
And just the camaraderie and the closeness and the willingness of people to share information was just intriguing to me. It was amazing that people were actually in the same industry would share stuff like that. In corporate life, we never did that.
Coach sales, you cannot coach empathy. You cannot coach someone to have a good work ethic. So when I hire for the person. I hire for the skills that make for a good sales professional. Sales, as long as they have those other skills, as long as they are empathetic humans, as long as they pay attention to the things that are happening, the cues, the social cues coming from people, as long as they have the ability to work through challenges, because the hardest thing for most people in sales is the amount of no's it takes to get to a yes. Okay. And when you're standing at the ticket window and you ask 100 people, would you like to upgrade to the unlimited? And they say, no, stop asking me that. Right. Unfortunately, people aren't always nice about these things. I mean, I get some really angry emails back when I'm soliciting people, right? Unfortunately, that wears out people in a sales capacity. And really the difference between someone that's going to hit quota consistently and somebody that's going to miss the mark is their ability to let those things roll off their back and to just keep going and to know that, you know what, every no is good because every no is one more no closer to the yes. And if I can keep these no's coming, I'm going to hit enough yeses to leave this day on solid footing.
Yeah, we've definitely seen the consumer habits change. And, you know, thankfully, we worked really hard over the summer on acquisition of our memberships. And we've recovered to about pre-COVID levels in the terms of our unlimited wash plans. But we are really working hard to supplement that with single wash business. So just like Wade was saying, we're really looking to make sure that we've got enough single washers coming in that our sales associates can do what they do best, which is convert those to memberships on site. So for us, the name of the game is really making sure that that customer experience is amazing so we can keep those members that we have fought so hard to reacquire, and then keep supplementing that, which, you know, wasn't our approach previously. We were 100% focused on those members, but now we're seeing that we need to balance that out. And, you know, the consumer habits are changing. We think that people, you know, those single washers, it's a discretionary purchase. It's a discretionary choice, whether they're leaving their house or not during this pandemic. And so we need to really attract them. And we're working hard to do that with new offers and outreach mechanisms that we haven't tried before.
On Friday, when it finally, the roads cleared enough, because this is the longest we've ever been closed, Matt. I've never been shut down for a week, ever. In 12 years, I've never been closed this long. And we ran into the sites. My director of operations ran into the sites on Wednesday because he's crazy and just was dying to go check on stuff. And we found that mostly everything was unharmed at the washes. And on Friday, when we spun up and we dealt with what the rest of the country deals with, snow bump, oh my God. And we started washing just billions of cars. I ran to the washes to go check on things. And while I was there, I grabbed some spot-free water and stuck it in my car because it was like, well, man, I got nothing to drink at home. I'll do this. And I'm on my way home and I went, oh, duh.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing this for everybody?
Yep.
We should be open. And I called my marketing people and I called my pops and I said, hey, look, I have an idea. Tell me if I'm being ridiculous. I don't know if this is going to last a day or a week. Should we do this? Both of them said, rock and roll. And so we flew to it. We ran lines from the spot free machine out the door, wrote on poster board, free water, and threw it up on our social media. Because the truth is, Matt, like, I didn't get into this business because I love watching cars. Like, it's not what drives me. I like a clean car, but I got into this business because I was built on service, because my passion is service. Because growing up, that's what we did. We saw somebody in need, we helped. And if this business gives me the opportunity to help and to give out service to my community, no matter whether it's giving out free drinking water or building a kids museum or donating money to various nonprofits or helping out the kids on their baseball teams and their soccer teams, that's who we are. Bubble Bath is here to serve. If a tornado hit your neighborhood, you need brush cleared out, we're there. Because that's who we are. We're about service. So yeah, you wonder why people do what they do. This is why I do what I do, man, is because it gives me the ability to reach out in my community and help. And I don't know what else to do with my life. I can't do that.
Sure. We're doing a quarterly review challenge right now across all of our locations. And we created business card sized just little cards with a QR code that customers can scan. It'll send them directly to that location's Google My Business page where they can easily leave a review. And what's great about that is that we've seen review traffic just really since the first part of October increase by about 40% through that review challenge. So it's definitely working great. It gives our team members an opportunity to have a talking point with customers out in our vacuum lot so they can kind of gauge, if it's a happy customer. If it's not, it's great too, because then we can remedy a situation before the customer feels the need to go online and leave a bad review. So I would highly recommend it. It's extremely easy to set up and see what your results can be.
Personally, having a board of directors.
At Sonny's, we've been washing cars since 1949. This year, we're not just celebrating the return to the car wash show. We're celebrating 20 years of the Express Car Wash model, just one of the countless innovations we've helped spearhead in the last 7 decades. Thousands of operators have chosen Sonny's, and it's our privilege to help them all with our 12 solutions, from planning to chemistry to equipment and parts and beyond. We'll see you at the booth. Sonny's, the Car Wash Factory.
been coming to these obviously for a lot of years, and I always say I go back with at least one good idea that pays for the trip. If I can implement one great idea. So. It has run, I think, very well. It's been seamless, and Eric and his staff have done a remarkable job of getting us to this day. And I just wanted to ask Eric, kind of behind the scenes. It's always fun to see behind the scenes what took place, and how COVID affected the thinking and all the different contingencies of what could happen, what could be required of us, how we might need to respond to it.
Well, we're not going to share everything that happens behind the scenes, Ken. That's part of the secret sauce and sausage making. But I think most importantly, few of us want to think back to COVID, so we're all exhausted by it. But I would say, yeah, we had a lot of contingencies coming in this year. But what's been best from our perspective as events people from that side of the business has been seeing Las Vegas back in action, seeing our vendor partners back to business. I mean, there are a lot of people who depend upon, especially in this city, these types of events happening, right? So the laborers who laid this carpeting down, the folks who bring the electrical in, the folks who are greeting us at the doors. COVID, a lot of industries like the car wash industries did just fine or great during COVID. When your job is face-to-face during a pandemic, that's some rough sailing. And so we're happy that our business was able to reopen, the trade show, but we're also really happy for those people that their jobs and their operations are returning to normal. So, there are a lot of things as we look forward we hopefully won't have to do again in terms of contingencies with planning, but the events business has gotten more complex. That probably won't go away in the short time. But as we leave today, when we close at 1 o'clock, I'll be thinking about our team, who's done an unbelievable job through this, our employees, but also the larger ecosystem that we can bring and breathe some life back into this town to a degree.
Yeah, I think that, COVID has required changes everywhere. And actually, some of them we're finding out not so bad. Maybe we don't want to go back to the way we did some things in the past, and that we like some of the new ways of doing things. We were laughing that this is the first time I've seen a shoe shine guy since COVID started. And so little things that we notice that are getting us back to what we consider our normal or new normal.
Yeah. Well, so thinking about things that have changed, I'm curious what your reactions are about this show as we get ready to leave Las Vegas here. I mean, I don't know how much folks from home can tell the view through the window here, but if you just looked at the front of the hall, it might not look so different than shows in previous years. You see names you recognize and companies, but there's been a lot of stuff that's happened inside the show floor and toward the back of the floor with new companies and technologies and products. Anything stand out to you over the last couple of days?
We have our usual big booth areas, the car wash manufacturing equipment, the chemical companies and so forth, and so their presence is a staple for us, seeing them out there. But I think you start looking at maybe some of the smaller booths and the supplemental to the car washing itself, and you see different things. You see booths that are a reflection of the subscription model, and you see booths that have to do with different ways to pay for a car wash. Everything continues to evolve. I can remember back when they came up for a self-serve car wash, you could pay for it with a credit card rather than putting quarters in, and that was kind of big at that time. Right. And now we're seeing, you can pay for your car wash on your telephone. You can manage your subscription plan on your telephone. So technology has led us here, and so I've seen a lot of those. And then there are, you see more booths for people that can assist you in buying a car wash, help you sell your car wash, help you finance your car wash. So there's, I think, been a lot more of that going on.
Yeah, it's like we're continuing this march from everything you need here to wash a car. We've still got that. Now it's also, though, everything you need to run a platform, to run a scalable business, right? So it's about everything a large enterprise would need to serve customers with technology and back office and brokers and capital and everything else. So that's, I think, is a general shift is what's most
I think so, and the fact that, you know, we have at this show, what is it, 100 new
exhibiting companies.
Companies, thank you, that we've not had in the past. So, you know, 6, 8, 9 months ago, you're kind of worried who's going to still be showing, and suddenly we have this influx of new companies that are interested in being here and making a presence. So that's exciting too.
Yeah, and to skip ahead a little bit, I mean, we're excited about, it's unusual to have our next show be so soon. We starved ourselves for 900 plus days, and now we get to feast again next May when we get to Nashville. We're going to be opening up that show on May the 9th, and it's already been, I think, evident the excitement about that show with the space selection we've been doing. I mean, it's for those of you who don't know, our exhibitors actually select their space for the next show at this show, and the response has been incredible for that one. So we're expecting a great event in Nashville. What will you look forward to about going back to Tennessee and that event?
Well, you know, coming in here, I was just looking forward to seeing some old faces, people that maybe I've been participating on Zoom with or with telephone calls, but to actually be able to, you know, face to face, see old friends, talk with them and acquaintances. And, you know, and I think sometimes you start conversations at an event like this with some of the exhibitors, and you get a lot of food for thought. And this gives you a chance to follow up on that without having to wait a full year to do so. That, you know, in May, perhaps you're saying, you know, hey, we talked about this 6 months ago. I need to follow up with you. Got a few more questions, some clarity.
Yep.
So I think there's some, we're certainly not going to go back to having shows every 6 months, but I think this one time is going to provide some opportunities for us.
Let's just not go back to having shows every 18 months. We can meet in the middle on that one. But yeah, so we're excited to see each other again in May. You know, hopefully that'll also allow us to get more of our international visitors back. We were able to see yesterday on Zoom from here the Australian Car Wash Association. Boy, I hope those people are able to travel by next May and get to that event and welcome them back. We usually have a really strong Aussie and Kiwi contingent. We'd love to have them back to Nashville, so we're hopeful they're going to join us.
We got the Germans.
We did get some of the Germans, the Europeans, as of November the 8th could get here, so thankfully we did have a decent attendance pickup from those folks. So I think May we're going to hopefully feel the full return of the other side of all this junk. Let's stay healthy and well and keep, you know, pay attention to our people and pay attention to our business and our customers, and so that this industry ride that we're on just continues to roll. So Ken, thank you for a great 3 days and a great couple of years as our board chairman. And I look forward to seeing you in a few months.
It's been so fun.
So fun. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Matt.
Okay, so I can only run up here once because I'm out of energy for you all. But Eric, will you throw me a prize of your choosing? Maybe two. Throw me two. Yeah. That's my favorite one. One more. Yeah. All right. Raise your hand if you stopped by ICA's lead booth. Oh, in the back. Here you go. Which one do you want? This one. Yeah, see, everybody, here's the deal. You should buy the stocking hats with the headlamp in them. Guys, like, they come in so handy, especially where I live in Minnesota. Okay, what else do I want to know? I want to know who picked up something at this show that you're going to take back to your business and implement right away. Let's see a hand. Oh, came over. Oh, look at that throw. Look at that throw. Eric, give me one more. Who else? Who else found something? Who else found something? Right here. No, we're going right there. Nice, awesome, awesome. I got a lot of stuff I got to give away. So if you guys, when we wrap here today, we've got a couple more prizes. I may do a couple trivia things. Hang with us here. We're gonna do a little bit of an interview with Robert Pecora, like I mentioned. That's at 10 o'clock. Otherwise, if you guys want more content like this, that's at carwashmagazine.com. You can get our podcast at carwashthepodcast.com. And we're gonna roll a recap video for you right now from what's been kind of going on the last couple of days.
I've been coming to these obviously for a lot of years, and I always say I go back with at least one good idea that pays for the trip. If I can implement one great idea. So I think my only advice would be for everyone to be looking for that nugget. Look at that nugget that I can take back that will enhance my business.
One of the things that we've just recently started doing is actually highlighting on our social channels positive customer reviews. And I do think that it's important for customers to hear what other customers are saying, because that's where the power in building your brand is. Highlighting, you know, those positive things with your teams only provides more incentive for them. I don't mean financial, I mean personal incentive to make that customer experience a great one.
You definitely want to incent people within reason, right, to leave reviews. And, you know, a quick suggestion that I would recommend you might think about implementing is put together just a little business card sized review that's got your QR code on there that's going to take customers directly to the Google, you know, My Business page to leave a review and offer them some sort of incentive to do that.
We want to create wash habits. We want to get people to wash their cars multiple times. So we give them the free car wash. 3 days later, we give them a 50% off to try to get them back again on our Works Car Wash. And then day 14, they get a chance to sign up for the birthday club. On day 21, we hit them with the promo for the wash club. So that way they washed their car 3 times that month. They can see the value of the club. So the end game goal is to get them to sign up for the membership, but get them to become frequent visitors to your car wash and wash their car more often, so they're going to want that car wash membership.
I really like the customer-centric focus by Chip Bell. He was awesome, and he made it fun. And you know, you come here because you want to learn, but at the same time, you want an experience. And I think he offered a great experience.
I take little gold nuggets from everyone I go to. Now, what it might be is different from each topic.
As leaders at our business, we work very closely together. And as we continue to scale in a really high growth, high emotion situation, I think it really gave us the opportunity to take a step back and learn to be more logical before leading with emotion.
The fundamental course for management, I really liked it, and it actually built on the course from here today on Monday for emotional intelligence. They really bled together. There was some, I guess you could call them friends that I met at Sunday, and I caught them here at this class today, and they were saying the same thing, how a lot of the talks are going hand in hand, and we're learning a lot, you know, about what it is to be aware and emotionally intelligent, and how much, you know, probably lacks in our industry and in our field.
Taught how to understand where someone is at with the skill set or the mindset. Just asking those simple questions like that, you can kind of gauge where the person is, and then how to attend to the employee. You know, how to better help them, and then also in terms help the company, help yourself, and just overall help people be better.
Okay, so Mike, here we are. We're standing outside your wash in Burbank, Illinois. Busy location, lots of traffic going on. I'm super excited because guess what? this is a real tour. It's a real thing. We're like in person. I can see you. So tell me a little bit about this location and like this traffic pattern and how you all get onto the property. It's a little bit funky.
Yeah, so when we designed this property, we're obviously trying to maximize each area to the best we could. So as you're coming off Cicero, there's actually two entrances. You can come in through this way to the back vacuum parking lot, or we do our best to direct you onto 84th Street because this is a side street that's open to us.
Okay, which is nice.
At the very far end is where you do enter the parking lot.
Which is kind of nice because that way you keep them out of this immediate space, and you get them. They can just kind of flow naturally around to the back before they come into the tunnel.
So it actually, this is almost free range to us. So it does add for stacking in
that's nice.
The busy season.
Yeah, that way nobody's coming out onto the main street. You don't have any of those problems, which is huge.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay, so stacking. Let's go talk about stacking.
Yes,
let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, Mike, so here we are. We just came around the facility. We're now standing in your XPT lanes.
Yep.
I see 3 XPT lanes. I see room for 1 car, like not very far away. And there's 2 tunnels.
Correct.
So that math doesn't add up. Well, like,
So
what's going on? Yeah, how's that work? I'm like, I'm not, my mind's blown. I don't understand.
We utilize a software that actually is able to monitor each vehicle. So when that customer pays and that tenders the sale, that camera up there boxes out that vehicle and will monitor that vehicle as they go from 1 lane and then split to 2 lanes. So almost like a shell game.
Yep.
It's based on touch points and how that reacts through the software. So it'll follow that vehicle and rearrange the queuing based on that shell, call it. And when they hit a certain split point, when they choose their tunnel of choice, it'll auto queue that tunnel, and the loader will know. They'll have a photo of that car coming in,
so they can match
and
that up.
they can match it up. And in the event the queue happens to be off, they can quick rearrange it, and off the customer goes. So it makes it very easy, allows them to pick their tunnel, and really enjoy the experience.
Which is the only way. I mean, with the distance that you have, you've got a lot of distance this way to be able to like queue up.
Yes.
But as you get in here and get stacked, that transition into the wash is really, really hard. And the only way you can do that is with technology to make it more efficient, right?
Yeah. So this property, when we had to take off 20 feet from the building because this was a banquet hall, so we took off 20 feet, and then we had to make the turn to make the turning radiuses for trucks and vehicles.
Gotcha.
How this came together was a fun project, but yeah, I mean, when that customer pays, they can funnel down to 1 lane, and then when they get to that split point, they can say, hey, I'd like tunnel 1 or I'd like tunnel 2. I'm going to go there, and then the camera will auto queue each tunnel based on which one they choose.
That's so nice. It keep you don't that way you also don't have employees running all over the lot right here, right?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah. So like I said, if you like this one better than the other one, you can do that.
Go wherever you want.
Yeah. You can go wherever
we
you
got
want.
you. Awesome. All right. Let's go around the front. Let's check out these dual belts, and I'm gonna pick which one's my favorite.
You got it.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, Mike, so here we are. We're at the front of the wash. We've got a double tunnel, but it's a double belt tunnel.
Double belt tunnel.
Why?
Well, why not?
All right, you got me. You got me there.
Yeah.
But you made the choice for some reason.
We did make the choice.
So why?
Well, we're selling a customer experience, so a few reasons. It allows to process vehicles a lot quicker, and then it also allows for that customer to enjoy pulling on with that room from a traditional conveyor.
Yeah, and for you all, it helps, right? If they've got a wider back wheel, they've got a double wheel wells, they can get on there, and not a lot of problems for you guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for them to be able to maneuver through and get on the belt correctly. So the customer seems to enjoy that a lot more, and that's what we're going to make sure they enjoy.
Nice. Well, let's take it from here, and let's go see what actually happens inside the dual belt tunnel.
Let's go.
All right, so walk me through what happens inside the tunnel.
Yes, so as the customer pulls onto the belt, they always start with the pre-soak and the lava bath. And then when they get through the first set of wraps, they'll go into the tri-foam and then into the high pressure arch, which will clean the rims, the underbody, and the top half of the vehicle. And then once they're done with the actual high pressure rinse, they'll go into the Carnauba wax, and then through a emitter rinse and through the sealer waxes.
And then from there, you go into the drying chamber.
The drying chamber. Yeah, so after they get through the final rinse and the spot-free rinse, they'll go into the drying chamber, which will, we've got 2 950,000 BTU heaters in each drying chamber, that assists with the drying process, and then through the tire shine and off they go.
All right, so we're out of the tunnel. 2 90-foot tunnels each here, 75-foot on the actual belt system. What's the experience like once you get out of the tunnel for customers? What do you do next?
So customer has the option to pull up to one of the 24 vacuum stalls, vacuum out their car for free. And then if they choose to, we have mat beaters and we have a vending as well. So anything to continue helping them through that wash process and enjoy being here.
Yeah, it's all about extending that wash you experience.
It's all about extending the wash you experience.
There it is, there it is. All right, so the only thing I have not seen, and then everyone else will want to see, is the equipment room. Where's the back room? Let's go. I feel very special because this is a Wash U employees only entrance.
Yep.
Goes right into the back room. However, I cheated and I went in already and I looked, and it seems like you're missing a few things. Like, what's up with the stairs?
Well, let's go see.
All right, show me. Let's go.
Everything you can imagine.
All right, so super cool equipment room. Now I understand why there are stairs, but I'm left with a question, because I always have questions. How do you get stuff up there?
Well, we use a cage hoist. So as our chemical deliveries come in, we actually load up the cage and it goes up like an elevator. So we hoist it upstairs.
That makes sense.
It's the only way to do it.
It's the only way to do it. You don't want to roll those things up the steps, or oh, you know what? You could go World's Strongest Man and flip them, right? Or CrossFit those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you got it. Hey, so fun to be able to see your site. I'm so excited to be able to actually do it in person. Thanks for showing us around today. Super awesome.
Thank you guys for coming. But I gotta go. So do you mind locking up on your way out? Thanks, Matt.
I had a former mentor actually tell me a phrase that's really kept in my own mind in terms of being cognizant of where I'm spending my time. And he just said, hands and feet. That's how you know where an organization is spending time. So the hand piece of that is, where are you giving out reward and recognition? What are you giving it for? And the feet being, where are you traveling to spend your time and who are you spending time with? So one of the most important things that you can do to develop anybody is to really provide great mentorship. And at Sophie Joe's, that's but one component of what we like to call our talent life cycle. So we actually approach talent really purposefully, because our mission here is to build an amazing leadership pipeline, whether people choose to stay with us or if they choose to leave us and contribute somewhere else. And the reason why we do that is because building community is a value for us. And if we are building amazing leaders and leadership skills, then when that person leaves us, they're able to continue contributing to the community. So it's worth it for us to invest the time and energy to do that.
I think there's a trend in IoT and Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, which it's helping us be able to run larger business. And I'm saying this primarily because where Go is going, the transparency that we have by leveraging strong technology, I just think it's a huge opportunity. We're seeing all the manufacturers come out with better ways to help us, cloud-based solutions. And I think there's a great future there for leveraging some of these new technologies.
The first conversation that I had that really kind of opened up my eyes was Blake DeWitt at Hometown Car Wash. He was the first one back in September 2018. Obviously he's been successful. So I went up to Camel, met with Tyler. Okay, this is making sense. And then at the Southwest Roadshow in, I think it was October of that year, I saw Blake DeWitt there from Hometown sitting down talking to a couple of guys I didn't know, and turned to find out it was Justin Salisbury and John Agnew with some of their team from Breeze Peru. And he talked to me like I was the dumbest guy in car washing, which at the time I didn't realize I was. So that was the conversation when it was all over. I mean, it was just like, you screwed up everything, close down your washes, rebrand them, fix them. And at the end of the day, it was just, I literally walked out and called my partner. I was like, okay, car washing has left us. We've got to either pivot or get out and go flip hamburgers or make fried chicken at this restaurant or whatever we can do other than car washing. So, and that was a heavy lift, because we went from 0 membership and started selling them in November of 2018 and went all in. I mean, 4 locations, hired 16 CSAs, 100% coverage at the pay stations. And by July of 2019, we were at pushing 8,000 members. So it literally changed the trajectory of our company, where we were headed, what we were doing. So.
Welcome back, everybody. My name is Matt DeWolf. I am your host for Car Wash Magazine Live. We are coming to you live from the Car Wash Show 2021 in Las Vegas, here on the final day of the show. Look, one of the things we talk about a lot on my show and in general in this industry is recognition. And so recognition is a super important piece. We're going to look at one of the things that we were not able to do last year because we didn't have the Car Wash Show last year. Earlier this week, we had the opportunity to recognize some special folks at a president's reception. We're going to show a little highlight for you right now.
So congratulations on getting the first ever Distinguished Achievement Award. Huge honor, well deserved.
Thank you so much.
So how did it feel for you to get this honor in front of your peers tonight?
You know what? It was kind of strange because it happened a while ago, and then it was delayed, and they were going to do it virtually. I go, virtually? An award like that virtually? Really? I'm not taking virtually, so I wanted to wait. This was great. I mean, the people in this room are fantastic. They're the cream of the crop, right? They've been through everything, and I think I've worked with most of them somewhere along the line at their sites and families or friends, whatever. So this is a great spot to do it. More important to me was my son being here, and again, my longtime guy, the guys that have been working forever. And the Fazio family, again, we go back years and years, so it's just one big family.
If you had one or two things that you could offer to somebody that maybe you were taught, that you really took and stuck with you, what would those things be?
I think you got to find something that you're passionate about, that you like and you love, and if you're willing to put the time in, you'll find someone to help teach you. I met on the floor a couple of guys that I hired when they were 18 years old back in the Wash Depot days, who are now working with big chains, and they're in charge of the entire construction package, building site after site after site. And they've got great positions, soon to be chief operating officer of a company, and they started at 18 with a GED. So anything is possible. I talked to him before I left here, and I said, you're the reason I'm getting this award. One of the reasons I'm getting it, and that's the truth.
Tell us a little bit about just why you chose to serve and maybe what it's provided for you in your career and your life.
Yeah, it was my second award of this kind because I was in the board for 3 years, and on the regular basis I left it. And then I re-entered, I don't know, 2 years later or so. And plus the extra year from the Corona pandemic thing, I am now in the board, have been in the board for 10 years. And these 10 years have been really very important years for me. I mean, I got so many contact to so many people, and it was really enriching me in my work for my company as well. So I'm really grateful for all these 10 years in the ICA, really.
And what would you say to somebody that maybe is getting new to the industry of just the importance of a trade association?
Well, finally, the most important thing is always to get in contact to people who have knowledge, who are willing to share their knowledge, to have conversations, because you're always learning something. Of course, it's very important to have a show where you have everything in one room, but the most important thing is really knowledge and more and more important, education.
All right, so that was a great highlight of what was kind of going on at the President's reception. A little bit of a way for us to honor those people in this industry that do so much to give back and to make this the wonderful community and industry that we all know and love. And now, also at that event, we're going to do a little bit of this recognition live. We have Robert Pecora with us. We're going to talk a little bit about his father, Dan, who was a mainstay in this industry for a number of years. And Dan was last year's Hall of Fame recipient, but unfortunately we didn't have a show. And so we didn't get to honor him in the way that we wanted to. In just a minute here, we're going to have a conversation with Robert about his dad and about what he meant to this industry and share some stories. But first, I wanted to share with all of you a little video that we had captured at the time of some people in the industry talking to Dan and telling him how important he was to them. So we can roll that video right now.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame, Dan. It's an honor I think you well deserve. After being knowing you for 30 years, congratulations.
Hi Dan, John Sobieski. I'd like to thank you for over 30 years of friendship and great products. One of the first things we ever added to our car washes was foam brush, and Erie Brush has always been our choice. I've been to countless Erie Brush parties at the car wash events, and I've eaten way too many of your shrimp over the years. I've also gotten to know you at many of the Chicagoland car wash events, and I would have to say you were the best dressed at all these parties. And I appreciate all of your counsel over the years. I wish you many more years of health and happiness. Thanks, Dan.
Hi, Art Stevens, President, International Drying Corporation. I just want to say to Dan Pecora, congratulations on your entry into the Car Wash Hall of Fame. You're a very deserving individual. You've served us for decades with honesty, integrity, and a zest that we all wish we could have. Thank you for everything you've done, and mostly thank you for your friendship. Congrats, Dan, and thank you.
I've known Dan Pecora and his family since my father first contacted him more than 50 years ago, and Halco became a distributor for Erie Brush. Dan is known for his honesty and straightforward reputation and is long overdue for the honor of Hall of Fame honorarium. His knowledge and expertise have always been shared freely to car wash owners and operators. Thanks to his business collaboration, he's been an essential part of AutoBell and Halco's development. The Pecora family has served tirelessly over the years to the car wash industry, and I want to personally wish Dan and his family all the best in the years ahead.
So I got a phone call the other day from the International Car Wash Association, Dan, telling me you're the 2020 recipient of the Hall of Fame Award. Congratulations, it couldn't go to someone more deserving. I look at your story as a true American success story, starting a small brush company in 1948 in the basement of your home, and then becoming a premier supplier to an industry that means so much to us. I look personally back, and I remember when I was an owner-operator and you first sent me an invitation to one of your hospitality suite events at a trade show, and I felt special that you had done that, because as I looked around the room, I realized I was with all the who's who of the industry, who again were all of your clients. By the way, I was the young kid that ate all the shrimp that time, so sorry about that, I didn't know any better. Professionally, I think I started in a more serious way with you in 1991 as I took over Sonny's from my dad and was purchasing product from you for both the catalog, which we still do, and of course on our OEM equipment. I think personally for me what's been so special about the relationship is everything we've done, Dan, has been on a handshake. You're a true old school kind of guy like that, and to me that's what makes you so special and why the industry, because of guys like you, is what it is today. Congratulations, Dan.
That's special. I don't want to put you on the spot. Let you compose for a minute, but those are some great stories about your father. And he joined some amazing people from this industry when he joined that roster of the Hall of Fame. I'm going to spend the next few minutes here just sharing some stories. I want to talk about your dad. I want to talk about the things he did for this industry, and I want to hear it from you. So can you just tell us a little bit about your dad and his path and the things that you saw him do for this industry?
Absolutely. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me. When my father started, my grandfather started building brushes in 1948. A few years later, when my father was just 8 years old, he would run home from school because it was his favorite thing to do, was to go down into the basement and cobble brushes together with whatever simple tools they had at the time in the basement of their home in Milwaukee, Illinois. And that was one of his greatest things he talked about for so many years, that running home and doing those things with his father would then go door to door, put him in a cart. I'm not sure how he got him to the end user, but it was an old school way of doing it. And as the years went on, he always worked with his father from 8 years old up until he started working at his car washes when he was just 13 and 14. And then he started managing some of the car washes and working at the brush company at the same time. He had 3 car washes that he was running, and then he was going to the brush company on the weekends. His father was mostly running the brush company, or excuse me, during the week he was mostly flip-flopping that. But he worked 7 days a week his entire life, even when he was a kid. He worked 7 days a week with his father, and I remember growing up, he would leave at 4 something in the morning to go to the brush company. He'd get home every night for my mom's dinner, for me and my sister, between 6:45 and 7. And then he'd go, that would be Monday through Friday. Saturday, he'd kick out early, maybe get home at 4 or 5, still leave at 4 a.m. And then on Sunday, of course, he'd leave first thing in the morning, go to the car wash, and then we'd have our family dinner. And he did that his entire life. His dedication to excellence, to being excellent at what he does, his tremendous drive and passion and hard work for helping people and adding value and just doing the best job he possibly could. And whatever pursuit that was probably his greatest gift, was that inner drive and that talent and that desire to really do great.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I was par for the course a little bit for the time, but to sustain that level of work ethic and to go after that dream, right, to build this business and to build Erie Brush into what it is today, I think that's an incredible story. And I think what is so special about what your dad did for this industry is that he was part of that core group of people who turned this thing into what it is today. It would not be what it is today without people like your father. And so I think that's super special. He made a ton of contributions to this industry. Can you maybe share one or two of those, like from a patent perspective, with us?
Yeah, from a patent, bring me back to that just for a second.
yeah.
To lead up to that, he went to every trade show. He collaborated with everybody he possibly could. He would never miss a trade show. He'd never miss an opportunity to get with a car wash owner to try to help build a better product and help out their car wash. From a patenting perspective, he did many things. He had a few. One of the first things that he did, one of the worst patents he had, is when they first started making spinning brushes in car washes that had a cloth-like material. It typically had just 4 channels on it. So the cloth would only come out of 4 channels and would have like 8 pieces of cloth in one channel, and the thing would spin around. It'd be pretty bumpy. It had a pretty bumpy ride. So he designed the first core that had, I believe, 48 slots, and he put them in each slot. Of course, it was much better than what they had before, and it smoothly glided around the car. So fairly simple thing, but he recognized that and did what it took to make that product and several other different types of improvements, different brush designs with staggered designs and different weights of materials to make sure that wherever the car had trouble, like license plates and
which is still a thing.
Yeah, still a thing. Side view mirrors. He was always able to figure out a way to design and redesign the brush to what the customer's needs were and the way the cars were at the time.
Talk to me a little bit about you growing up, what that was like, because you had a dad who was a tireless worker.
Yes.
He wanted to improve and improve and improve all the time. What did that do for you?
It was very humbling. It was very humbling to see a father who worked so hard, who was such a legend in the industry. And when I was going to school and starting to figure out what I wanted to do, I knew I wanted to be involved with the family business on some level. When I started working for my father, of course, he didn't make it easy. He gave me a box of 3x5 cards with some names on it and some addresses, gave me a map and said, "Go make a living, son. Commission only." So I worked with him for a few years, and then directly at the brush company, helping him sell. And of course, I started my own company. Yep. And because I did not want to be the kid who rode his dad's coattails, I was such in awe from going to the conventions for him for so many years, seeing all the great people he'd hang out with in the industry, and I decided I wanted to do it on my own a little bit. But along that path, of course, I worked with my father at the trade shows and helped him sell and did both. And then, as you know, in 2017, I decided to get out of my business and come work for my father full time because of the transition that was going to happen there. He wasn't real vocal teaching me stuff all the time, but he was definitely a teach by example type of guy. And when you asked him a question, you were going to get an answer. He was going to get in your face and make sure he'd explain it to you like you were a 5-year-old sometimes. Make sure you knew what he was trying to get across. But yeah, true scientist. He was always looking through a microscope and magnifying glass and experimenting, making sure that he understood everything inside and out, and was trying to make the best products in the world. And he had a lot of success doing it.
So are you the same way?
Yeah, I'm not as scientific as he is. I'm a little more common sense. I certainly don't have his book of knowledge. When I took over his office, unfortunately, after he passed, he had books and periodicals stacked this high. I've never seen so many periodicals and books on engineering and materials, and it would take me two lifetimes to read all these books and all these periodicals on the different materials. So I'm catching up to speed on some of the other knowledge, but fortunately, I have a set of skills that sprinkles nicely on top of what my father's created, and I'm learning very rapidly some of the knowledge he had.
Well, you certainly cannot. He has big shoes to fill. You certainly cannot replace those. We know that you're going to bring a different perspective to that, and that's going to be good for the business. You better start reading like yesterday to catch up, because you got some work to do, my friend. Tell me, is there a memory that you maybe have of your dad from a trade show or a car wash experience that for you really captures what he was like and what he did?
The thing that sticks out the most is just how joyful he was when he saw his peers in the car wash industry. He struggled with health his whole life. He never complained. He never told anybody. Nobody knew that he was battling a rare blood cancer for about 25 years. They gave him 2 to 3 years to live, and he said, "No, I don't think so."
That seems about right. Yeah.
And he made it about 24 years, but it was tough for him. He was sick a lot. He battled through that, and he was often in pain. And again, he battled through it like a brave soldier. But when he'd get around his peers here, it was like this tremendous, the fountain of youth, and the medicine he needed was coming through his body. And he was just so happy and joyful to be in this environment with the people in his industry. So that's the thing that comes to mind the most. One of my favorite stories was at our hospitality suite many years ago here in Vegas. It was at the Mirage, and it has that beautiful view where you can see out over the volcano onto the Strip. And everybody was lining up by the window. We're like, what's going on out there? And we saw the Olympic torch being run down the Strip. And that's one of the memories, of course, that goes to the top of my mind as a really special moment. And this is the first time I've accepted an award on his behalf. I remember the first trade show that I went to was in Little Rock, Arkansas, many, many years ago. My father had 2 trade shows at the same time. He would have went to both if he could have, but he couldn't. It wasn't possible. So he sent me to that one. And they said, Dan Pecora gets an award for whatever. And I'm just sitting in the corner, had no idea. And I go up there and I just grab the award and I thank you very much, and walked off stage. So yeah, very humbling. He's been so accomplished in so many ways. Little known fact, my father is not only in the Car Wash Hall of Fame, the first Hall of Fame that he was inducted into was the Table Tennis Hall of Fame.
No
he was
way.
Actually, yes. He was an incredibly accomplished table tennis player. That's how him and my mom met. They were both very accomplished. He won the Canadian Open 4 years in a row, placed second in the U.S. Open, and it was the first Hall of Fame. And this is the most important one to him, I'm pretty sure. And I'm inducting him for the Fathering Hall of Fame too, because he was just an amazing father, supporting our family in any way that we needed. He was there all the time. Just one little add-on story, one memory. As hard as he worked, he always found a way to go to my 0-10 basketball team's game out in the middle of nowhere. He'd show up, and sometimes he'd be the only father there. So it's really special to have these types of memories.
That's good. Well, I mean, the impact that he had on all of those around him will continue to be felt in this industry and your family's lives for years to come. So we're so thankful to have had Dan as part of this industry. We're so thankful for what you're doing to carry that torch forward, because I think it's an important torch. It's the Olympic torch that you got to carry forward on this thing. So with the time we have left, I just want to really quickly ask, with Erie Brush now, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to more growth in the industry. I'm looking forward to, I have 2 boys in college and a couple behind there. I'm looking forward to carrying it to the 4th generation. There's always something about me that said it'd be great if we could make it to 100 years. If I make it to 100 years, I'm passing that Olympic torch to hopefully my boys, maybe my daughter, who knows, somebody in the family. And then if the Lord takes me at that point, I'm just fine. I've done my job.
Yeah, you've made it.
That's right.
You did it. That's excellent. Excellent. Well, Robert, thank you so much for taking some time to reminisce a little bit about your dad and to honor him in a way that seems very fitting.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody.
Excellent. Friends, that's it. That's the end of our programming for you from the Car Wash Show 2021. It's been incredible to see everybody here. I'm so thankful to be able to be a part of this and be able to share these stories with you and to give you all a little bit of insight and ideas and inspiration as you go back to your business to make it better. So, friends, if you want to get more of this stuff, it's all on carwashmagazine.com. You can subscribe to our podcast. That's Car Wash the Podcast. And we've got a big plan for you for what we're going to do in Nashville at the next show, May 9 through 11. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. Otherwise, I'm going to see you guys digitally from my basement. I got to go back to the basement, friends. That's an unfortunate story for me. But we will deal with that when it comes. And until I see you again, keep it clean.
At Sonny's, we've been washing cars since 1949. This year, we're not just celebrating the return to the car wash show. We're celebrating 20 years of the Express Car Wash model, just one of the countless innovations we've helped spearhead in the last 7 decades. Thousands of operators have chosen Sonny's, and it's our privilege to help them all with our 12 solutions, from planning to chemistry to equipment and parts and beyond. We'll see you at the booth. Sonny's, the car wash factory.
Q Luminora started as a request from a customer. His car wash was producing clean, dry, and shiny vehicles, but he still felt something was missing. He wanted a product that customers could feel, something they could touch that would emulate the showroom's smooth feel of a new car or truck. With this request in mind, our chemist went to work creating a revolutionary online application process, Q Luminora. With Q Luminora, customers not only see the deep shine, they feel it. Their hands glide over the silky smooth surface of their vehicle, taking customer satisfaction and validation to the next level. For more information and to try Q Luminora in your car wash, visit www.qualchem.biz/Luminora.